Despina Drugas. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Paramount here in Huntington, New York for Rockin' Fights 24. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Sponsored by Model Sporting Goods, Gotta Go to Moe's, Camelot Limousine, The Inn at Fox Hollow, WBAB 102.3, Long Island's #1 rock station, Cactus, Anti-3, and Power Play. Tonight's bouts are sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Chairman Tom Hoover, Commissioner John Signorelli, Acting Executive Director Eric Bentley. Your three judges scoring this contest from ringside: James Kinney, Kevin Morgan, and Robert Perez. At the sound of the bell, your third man in the ring will be Pat Sullivan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears the black and white. He weighed in at 155.8 pounds. Professional record, no wins, 2 defeats. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Daniel Achilles Flores. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears black with white trim. He weighed in at already 157.2 pounds. His professional record, 2 fights, 2 victories, one of them coming by way of knockout. From West Hempstead, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Lored, the Lion Stewart.
All right, fighters, you can give your instructions in the dressing room. I expect you to obey the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission, okay? Respect the sport, respect the rules, guys, and show respect for each other. Touch gloves? All right.
I got you.
Here we go, round number 1, 4-round middleweight bout between Lored Stewart and Daniel Flores. Stewart in the black trunks with the white stripes, and already a short left hook sends Flores down. Referee Pat Sullivan gives him the mandatory 8 count, only seconds into the opening round. And you wonder just how shaken up is Flores. He is putting on the pressure. He looks clear-eyed. He got caught with a short left hook. And you wonder if Lored Stewart is going to put the pressure on, trying to keep it on him. You know, when you knock a guy down that early in a fight, you just try to follow up on that. Get him out of there.
Right away, but he's being a little cautious.
Okay, we're going to work on that microphone there of yours. This is a 4-round middleweight bout. Stewart laying back a little bit, trying those combinations, center of the ring. Referee, veteran Pat Sullivan.
Flores doing a good job of staying in this fight.
Stewart opening up with that left hook. He loves that left hook. There's a right hand to the body, and he usually will follow up with the left hook. There's another left hook by Stewart. That's the punch that sent Flores down in the opening seconds of this bout. And quickly, here's the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission. Scoring is on a 10-point must system. 10 points to the winner of a round, 9 or less to the loser. There is no standing 8 count. The 3 knockdown rule is in effect. In case of a foul, half the fight has to be in the books, and only the referee or the doctor can stop the fight, or the commissioner if he so desires. There is no saving by the bell, including the final round.
I can hear it.
As Stewart still opening up, keeping the pressure on Flores, who is not showing much in the way of defense. He's getting hit with just about everything that Stewart is throwing. He's trying his best. Stewart's doing some great work on the inside and on the outside. It doesn't matter where he is. Final seconds, round number 1.
Well, that was obviously a great round for Stewart, but Flores able to survive it. His favorite fighter is Mike Tyson.
I think a lot of guys
Yeah.
idolize Mike Tyson. They love the pressure he put on. He was always an exciting fighter. He said another one of his favorite fighters is Triple G, and that's become the fighter that so many of the guys today. And watching that first round, Flores was putting on the pressure and got nailed with that counter hook.
Quick left hook, very compact, beautiful punch by Stewart. You can see Flores' corner just imploring him.
And some more of that action from round number 1. There's an overhit. That's a left hook thrown very high. Straight right hand down the middle. A big round for Lorenz Stewart. You got to score that one definitely 10-8 for Lorenz Stewart.
Flores' corner very animated in between rounds. It looks like we have the doctor coming up to the ring apron. Take a look at Flores.
I don't know if it was that referee Pat Sullivan felt that he didn't react well, but the doctor said he's okay. They get sent to a neutral corner and the round gets restarted. In the center of the ring, Stewart likes using that left hand, the jab, but that's just a probing jab, and he likes to set everything else up with the jab.
Flores hit with another left, and here comes Stewart, and it's over.
Yeah, you can see that one coming, because when a doctor already comes up to take a look at the fighter, they are not going to allow the fighters to take much more punishment. And Jamie, yeah, what a left hand, and there were a few more left hands in there. A very impressive performance by the young man from West Hempstead, Long Island.
Lorenz Stewart, impressive to say the least. That left hand, that poise, that power, that speed. Let's take a look at it again, how Lorenz Stewart finished this one off. Oh, there's the left.
Big left hand, right hand down the middle, and another left hook, and another one behind that. Good stoppage by referee Pat Sullivan.
Stewart drops to his knees. He's on his way, undefeated.
And it's great when you have a young fighter like this who scores such an impressive stoppage where you could bring him right back. I mean, in the next week or so, if they could line up a fight. Let's go up to David Diamante to make this one official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Pat Sullivan calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 31 seconds of round number 2. Your winner by TKO. He's still undefeated from West Hempstead, New York, the Red, the Lion Stewart.
Well, there it is. Second round, TKO. For Lorenz Stewart. Very impressive performance, Jamie. And that ups his record to 3-0 with 2 knockouts. And each time he looks better and better. There's that left hook in the opening seconds of round number 1. A very impressive performance from young Lorenz Stewart from West Hempstead. We're going to be hearing a lot more from him.
Congratulations on the knockout. Did you think that he was going to survive the first round after you initially knocked him down?
Yeah, I know he came for a fight. After he went down, it was a good shot, so I knew that he was going to make it. I was just trying to finish it as early as I could.
How does it feel to be fighting in the United States for the first time?
Honestly speaking, it's a dream come true. This is what I've dreamed of. I'm seeing this as a stepping stone towards bigger, better, and great things in the future. But all praises and glory unto God, man.
Congratulations on the rank 3 and look forward to watching you fight again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kara. Let's throw it up to our interviewer, Kara Castronova, who stands by with a very happy winner. Yep. Let's throw it up to our ringside reporter, Kara Castronova, as she talks to our happy winner.
I am one of the most dangerous men in this sport. I am here to sell you, and I am the contender.
This fight? I think so.
Welcome back to the Paramount Theater in Huntington, Long Island, New York. And we continue with Joe DeGuardia's Rockin' Fights 24. We've got a 4-round bout in the junior welterweight division. Terrell Bostic against Miguel Gloria. Miguel Gloria, out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, brings with him from Albuquerque a 1-2 record. But he said he's done a lot of sparring for this fight. He is primarily a boxer, puncher, likes to move around. He said, but at times I like to turn it on and to put the pressure on. And I know against Terrell Bostic, he's going to have to put the pressure on because Terrell is a very smooth. Had to go to the bathroom.
He's 31. He only has 3 fights.
Ladies and gentlemen, while I have this opportunity, I want to tell everyone, please download the Star Boxing app. And our next show is August 13th. If you purchase your tickets before 8:30 p.m., you get 10% off tonight only from the box office. And also check out the merchandise counter. We've got some new Star Boxing merchandise. You can visit the booth across from the ladies' restroom. And also, I want to thank our great sponsors. Model Sporting Goods, got to go to Moe's. WBAB 102.3, Long Island's #1 rock station. Cactus, Camelot Limousine, the Inn at Fox Hollow, Power Play, and Anti-3.
Welcome back to the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, New York, for another edition of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing Rockin' Fights 24. In our next bout right here, it's going to be a 4-rounder in the junior welterweight division between Miguel Gloria and Terrell Bostic.
Gloria has had 3 fights. His last fight was back in February at the theater at Madison Square Garden, lost by TKO. Considers himself a boxer.
Terrell Bostic, he trains out of the Academy of Boxing in Huntington, and he is a boxer. And the guy that you're looking at, Miguel Gloria, likes to put the pressure on. So it's going to be the kind of Ali versus Frazier fight, if you will. One guy basically pouring the pressure on, the other guy using all the real estate in there. So Terrell Bostic against Miguel Gloria.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because Gloria is 31 years old, so he's no spring chicken. The time is now for him. Why Bostic, as a young fighter, just had 1 fight. So you know that this fight is very important to Miguel Gloria.
Well, Miguel said he's done more sparring for this fight than he's done in a long time, and he said he's ready for a very fast-paced 4-round bout. Now, Terrell Bostic, he comes from nearby Elmont.
There he is from Elmont.
Led by his trainer, Frankie G, who's the owner of the Academy of Boxing, one of the best boxing gyms on Long Island. Taking off the shirt of the very smooth Terrell Bostic, who's always in the gym. If he's scheduled let's say a 5 o'clock workout session, he's the kind of guy who shows up at 3 o'clock just to jump rope for a couple of hours. Does not get tired. Not a big puncher. I mean, his last fight was in June. He had a second-round knockout, but he's more of a boxer. Let's take a look at that tail of the tape.
Yeah, Bostic 1-0 with 1 knockout, coming off an outstanding first-round knockout. Gloria is 1-2. Gloria, like we said, 31 years old. I like how Bostic entered the ring, then skipped around Gloria. I don't know if there was any gamesmanship as far as that goes, but should be a very entertaining fight here.
Let's go up to ring announcer David Diamante and get this one started.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you by Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Your 3 judges scoring this contest ringside: James Kinney, Kevin Morgan, and Robert Perez. At the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, Pat Sullivan. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears yellow and red. He weighed in at 140.8 pounds. His professional record, 1 victory against 2 defeats. From Albuquerque, New Mexico, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Miguel Picudito Gloria. Gloria. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears green and red trim. He weighed in at a ready 139.4 pounds. His professional record, 1 fight, 1 victory, and that victory came by way of knockout. From Wyandanch, New York, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Terrell Bostic. Bostic.
All right, fighters, we give you instructions in the dressing room. Respect to obey the rules of the New York State Athletic Commission, okay? Respect the sport, respect the rules, and most of all, show respect for each other. Touch gloves, come out, box out the bell.
Let's go, Terrell! All you, team! You know what to do, Terrell!
And we're underway, a 4-round bout in the junior welterweight division between Terrell Bostic in those colorful shorts and Miguel Gloria in the yellow. Miguel promises to put on the pressure, and as I told you about Terrell Bostic, he's going to be in the center of the ring trying to control it with his movement and with his jab.
Both fighters already letting it fly early on, just 30 seconds into the fight.
Here you go! Here it is, Terrell. Good, all day!
Well, that's the thing about a guy like Gloria, who when you put the pressure on, a la Joe Frazier, you are going to make the fight and excite the crowd, but you're also going to get hit. So can he take it? Some smooth boxing there. You saw Terrell Bostic get underneath the shot and then get back in the center of the ring. That's where he's at his best, on his toes in the center of the ring.
He's got hit a couple times by Gloria, though. It didn't seem to bother him. And you could tell he's definitely faster than Gloria.
Here you go, all day, Terrell! That's it, Terrell, that's it! All day,
He also
Terrell!
has the hometown support here because I hear him behind me.
Well, he's out of Wyandanch, New York by way of Elmont. Makes his home in Wyandanch now and trains in Huntington Station at the gym of Frankie G, longtime boxing figure on Long Island. See, and once again, Bostic in the center of the ring. Sometimes stands there and slugs a little bit too much when he certainly has the hand speed to get in and get out.
Yeah, wild right by Gloria there, did not connect. Lucky he didn't get a counter by Bostic.
Throw that hook, Terrell, when you're there.
Gloria indeed is
Get that hook on
the
him.
aggressor, but he's not very aggressive. He's walking in, but not moving his hands as he comes in. Usually when he gets in, he eats a couple of jabs like that.
Some looping rights by Gloria. don't seem to have much impact.
Well, the reason he's throwing that overhand right, he sees Bostic's hands down, especially that left hand, and that chin is so inviting with the left hand down. But it's not as easy to hit. Right there, he tried it again and again.
Yeah, he's too quick right now for Gloria, and Gloria's looking to catch him. Pretty good opening round.
Neither is Gloria cutting off the ring. Bostic is basically going in one direction. He did jump to the right there, but for the most part, he's moving constantly to his left. He gets in, and now watch, he'll jab, and then usually steps over to his left like he's doing right now as he bumps into referee Pat Sullivan. And I don't like that when a referee gets in the way of the fighter. Referee should be out of the way. 5 seconds to go in the round. Opening round. And Pat Sullivan gets between them at the end of the round.
Good opening round.
Well, it was not a feeling out round in round number 1.
No, these two went at it right away, and that was probably the opening 30 seconds. So they let it fly off the bat. It was an entertaining first round. I'd give it to Bostic.
Likewise, I'd have a 10-9 to Bostic. And if this one keeps going like it is, the question will be, and I believe that Bostic can dance like this and keep boxing like this for 4 rounds, but he's getting tagged with some shots, and it just takes one shot in the game of boxing. This is the game of the unexpected.
I'm watching both corners teaching, imploring, encouraging, because they both think that their fighters can win this.
Well, certainly after that first round, it looks like Bostic in the green and red trunks, and Miguel Gloria in those, what do you call that, gold, yellow?
Oh, maybe a mustard yellow.
There we go.
Grey Poupon yellow.
There's that overhand right by Gloria. Bostic not thinking as much on defense as I've normally seen him do in the gym and in the dozens of rounds that I've seen him spar at the Academy of Boxing.
No, I agree with you. He's left himself open.
He did get away from that whistling right hand, but you can see that that is the weapon of choice for Miguel Gloria out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
It may be one of those things where Gloria feels the punches from Bostic and doesn't fear the strength.
Well, certainly in his last fight, Terrell Bostic fight Masakai Aida here at the Paramount, and in the first round, Aida did not show him any respect either, and then ran into some crisp combinations, and he was stretched out in round number 2. So Bostic does have some power.
It was a nice right cross by Bostic that landed.
That's where Bostic is at his absolute best. When he's on his toes, when he's throwing the jab, getting in and getting out. Playing a game of tag. You got to keep the other guy it more than you're it.
Absolutely. He's doing a good job.
I tell you what, though, Bostic is dropping those hands dangerously low every time he gets in close, because he's getting tagged with a number of shots there. You saw Bostic land a hard left hand, might have been his hardest punch of the fight so far.
Yeah, Bostic's just quicker than Gloria. There's another sloppy right by Gloria.
And as he's whistling those shots, just winging them, he's missing by plenty, and many times he's eating counter shots in return. And here in New York, when you hear that rap on the ring, most states actually have it at 10 seconds to go in the round. Here in New York, it was a rule that I brought in over 20 years ago. I cut it from 10 seconds to 5 seconds, and they've kept it.
And what was your reasoning for that?
It's just a sign for the referee to start getting close between the fighters. As soon as they hear it, watch the referee. He might not be in the picture now, but as you hear that rap on the ring, the referee starts to get close, knows that there's under 5 seconds to go before the bell. And I thought that 10 seconds was too much time. The referee used to just get right between them. 4, 3. Now Pat gets ready. He gets ready, and the bell's going to ring, and he jumps right between them.
Sounds a good rule. Worked out.
It was perfect. And it was another good round. With Terrell Bostic, though, I thought I am not going to be surprised if any of the judges go the other way on that round. I've got it 20-18 for Terrell Bostic. It's not going to surprise me at all if I see one round apiece so far. And it was another exciting round. No holding back in that round.
No, it wasn't. I would give the round to Bostic as well. His conditioning seems to be peak. He was landing punches. It doesn't seem like either fighter has hurt the other one, but Bostic has clearly landed more.
This one is scheduled for 4 rounds. We've gone midway so far.
I'm looking at Bostic's corner, and again, they're telling them what you told us before. Stick and move. Hit him, get out of the way.
And here we are, round number 3, scheduled for 4 rounds in the junior welterweight division. Junior welterweight's 140 pounds.
Bostic got caught there. Very nice right from Gloria.
And in the corner, I noticed of Gloria, they were motioning with their right hand. Throw your right hand more. There he did it again and landed. And again he landed. 2 more right hands by Gloria. And he's using it overtime now.
Definitely more aggressive this round.
He's not cutting the ring off Gloria. He's just walking in a circle after Bostic. If he would cut the ring off, he would force Bostic to use those legs more and move the other way and tire those legs out. This is where Bostic is at his most comfortable. From the outside where he can bang that left, pop the right hand in there. There's a short little uppercut by Bostic. Nothing on it really on the uppercut. And the second one he threw a little bit too far outside.
Gloria had a chance there. He cut him off. He had a chance, but he let him off the hook.
There we go. There we go.
Boy, that right hand, he is just winging that from the other side of the arena.
Looking to land the haymaker.
And again, see, just launching it. That time he got enough. It wasn't a hard right. He did land it. And this is where Gloria's at his best, on the inside.
This is Gloria's chance here. Bostic needs to get out of there.
Let's see what Bostic does. He got out.
This Gloria's round right now.
Got to agree there. He's forcing the action, not getting hit as much. There he landed another right hand to the side of the head. And another one. That right hand is starting to find a home for Gloria.
Not seeing much out of Bostic this round. Except for that right there, a nice right.
That time he tried to dig a right hand to the body, fell short. And that right hand by Gloria, those right hands, some of them are finding a home. The key weapon for Bostic is that left jab, which he's using there. He's got to keep using it. And if I was his corner, I'd be telling him you're not using it enough. And again, he went to the body with that jab.
Pretty fast pace the two have kept up now. Wondering if conditioning will play a factor at all.
Well, we're heading down to the end of the 3rd round. This one's scheduled for 4 in the 140-pound division.
Mouth guard is out from Bostic.
And in New York, you always wait till there's what we call a lull in the action. Time is stopped. The mouthpiece is washed out, put back in, and we continue. And that was near the end of the round. And you see the mats that are being put in. Those are the safety mats developed by former heavyweight contender Tom. And take a look at those mats underneath there that absorbs all the water. These things, I can't believe that it's taken this long to develop them in the last year or so, because what it does, it keeps the ring from... It's like a big sponge.
You're right. It's amazing it took this long to do that, but that was a great idea. We'll absorb all the perspiration. I would give that round to Gloria.
Well, if you did, and the other judges did, that's going to really make it come down to this round. Take a look at some of that action in the third round.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Bostic
this
coming
is
in.
the
Gloria was
and
definitely
final round.
aggressor in this round.
Here we go, fourth and final round. Junior welterweight bout. Junior welterweights, super lightweights, 140 pounds, all the same thing. Hard right hand from Gloria, and another one. He senses he's got Bostic hurt, but Bostic fights back.
This is going to be a very entertaining round. Bostic was likely told, you've got to win this round.
All day, Terrell, all day. Let's go. Shot, just like that.
Mistake for Gloria to try to just launch that right hand, just lunge in with that left hand, because he gets hit a lot of times with counter shots. Bostic a little too fast, too long-armed for him.
I'm not sure if he knows how to fight another way. That seems to be his MO.
That was a nice short hook, except it just found nothing but air. He's got to throw it in closer. And Bostic's movement is confusing Gloria right now.
Bostic's got to move.
Pat Sullivan breaks him up. Kind of rough on that break. Nice straight right hand. That was one of the best shots of the fight. It might have been the best punch that Bostic has landed tonight. A good, hard, straight right to the chin.
Gloria's a tough guy. He keeps coming forward, you can tell.
Good work. Keep working that, Terrell. You got that all day.
Dangerous by Bostic right there. Basically led with his head.
Another hard right hand by Gloria. And Bostic answers with several jabs. A couple of them got in, a couple missed. Gets away from some shots.
Couple lefts connect by Gloria.
And then a three-punch combination, a two-punch combination. Bostic is fighting back, but Gloria making the fight now, pressuring him, trying to keep him on the ropes. This is where Gloria wants it.
What action here. These guys leaving it all out.
I think if Gloria wins this round, it could be a draw. How are the judges going to see it?
It's very tight.
Looking good, Terrell. Looking good.
Can Bostic finish strong? Can Gloria finish strong?
That's it, T.
I'd say if Bostic wins this round, it's definitely his fight. If Gloria wins it, we could have a draw.
Agreed.
All day, keep boxing. Good work.
Nice right by Gloria. Another nice right.
I think Bostic doing just enough. Those flurries are what's winning him the round, I think. He slides away from a shot. 4 seconds remain. Nice fight.
Good fight.
Returns to his corner, jubilant, feeling as if he's won the fight. Bostic returns a little bit tired to his corner. I thought he may have won the round. So on my card, he won it 3 rounds to 1. And I don't know how you had it, Jamie, but this one, I'm not going to be surprised if we have a majority decision here.
It's very close. I think I'd give it to Bostic. I think he started strong. I don't think he ended that strong. But I think he did enough to win the fight. Although looking at Gloria's corner, he clearly thinks he won it.
No question about it. He had a smile on his face. He was jubilant as he went back to his corner. And I look at my scorecard. I got a 39-37 for Terrell Bostic to win his second professional fight. But it certainly was a crowd pleaser. They loved it. And I wouldn't mind seeing a rematch in a 6th-rounder.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Great action all the rounds. Interesting contrast of styles. Both fighters have heart. You can tell. Overall, a very good fight.
A lot of tattoos all over the young man. He actually, one of those tattoos is a recent tattoo. I'm not sure which one it was, but He just got one a few weeks ago. Now, I wonder, how did he train when he got that tattoo?
Yeah, that's a good question. Good question. Nice show of sportsmanship after the fight. Both fighters go into the opposing corners.
Love it.
You know how much hard work it takes to get to this point, and all the weeks and hours they put in just to get to this moment.
Fighters totally respect one another, and they walk to the center of the ring, waiting to hear the decision. The scorecards have been marked, and David Diamante has the cards, and he's going to tell us who won this bout.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action here at the Paramount, we go to the judges' scorecards. James Kinney, 40-36. Kevin Morgan and Robert Perez both scored this bout 39-37. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision. From Wyandanch, New York, Terrell Boston.
Well, it's exactly as we had it. 39-37. A heartbreak for Mr. Flores. Gloria rather, Miguel Gloria. He now drops to 1-3. And Kara Kasparova is standing by with Terrell Bostic, who won his second fight. Kara, take it away.
Congratulations on a hard-fought victory. Please talk to me, Paul. So I noticed that in between the second and fourth round, Corbin was yelling at me to keep up with left hand. Do you think that played a factor in the fight and how close it was?
Yeah, I was trying to get too comfortable.
How do you rate your performance tonight? 4 wins a win, and this is your second win here at the Paramount, and congratulations. We'll see you next time. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kara. There's another victory for Terrell Bostic. Impressive, wasn't he?
Impressive performance by Terrell Bostic. Clearly, he's got a lot to work on, but he's got some skills. He had some heart, very good conditioning. I think he'll take a lot from this fight. One of those fights that you win, but you know you got to go to the gym and you got to work on basically everything. But a good start to this young man's career.
No question about it. Well, Miguel Gloria with a heartbreaking loss, 1-3. Terrell Bostic now ups his record to 2-0 with 1 KO. Welcome back to Rockin' Fights 24. We've got a 6-rounder in the super middleweight division between Naeem Turbunja and Lanny Dardar. Let's go up to ring announcer David Diamante. And let's take a look at that tail of the tape.
Naeem Turbunja, nicknamed the Albanian Warrior, 7-1. He's fought one time here at the Paramount against Louisiana's Larry Dardar. 6-round fight. Both fighters, one fighter's 6'0", one fighter's 5'9". Should be an entertaining bout.
And now, David Diamante has it, ready to introduce the fighters to us.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, we are set to go with our next battle of the evening. It's all being brought to you by Joe the Glorious and Star Watson. Your three judges scoring this contest from ringside: James Kinney, Kevin Morgan, and Tony Paolillo. At the sound of your third man in the ring will be Tony Chirintano. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out the blue corner, he wears it the gold and black. He weighed in at 167.8 pounds. His professional record: 3 victories against 5 defeats. He has 2 draws and 1 win coming by way of knockout. From Houma, Louisiana, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lanny Dardar. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears silver and black. He weighed in at a ready and even 170 pounds. His professional record: 7 victories against 1 defeat. Originally from Pristina, Albania, and now living and fighting out of East Mauritius, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Naeem, the Albanian Warrior, Turbunja.
Gentlemen, we're going over the rules in the locker room. We want a real clean fight. Protect yourselves at all times and make my commands at all times. Touch them on the floor.
And here we go, 6 rounds in the super middleweight division. Naeem Turbunja against Lanny Dardar. They've got just about opposite trunks on. The Albanian Warrior with the silver, the white with the black on the side. And Dardar with the basically all black and the gold trim.
There's a little bit of buzz about Turbunja. I talked to some of the local fighters, and they think that this guy definitely has potential. They like what they've seen so far.
The thing that I love about Turbunja is his amateur record. He had a tremendous amateur record. One of the guys he beat in the amateurs was Olympian Marcus Brown, who's on the rise in the light heavyweight division right now. So that alone tells me this guy knows how to fight. Both guys right-handers, keeping their distance from each other, measuring each other.
Yeah, this is the typical feeling out first round that you see. Both fighters with a lot of poise. Good exchange there.
Lanny Dardar with a 3-5-2 record with just 1 knockout is a very deceiving, that's a deceiving record, because there are good fighters with bad records and bad fighters with good records. This happens to be a decent fighter with a less than mediocre record. Many times he takes fights on last-second notice. Many times he goes into the backyard of fighters to fight, and he gets messed up with split decisions and majority decisions against the local hero.
Yes, and Turbunja is a good fighter with a good record.
Yeah.
And he told you you must call him by his nickname, right?
The Albanian Warrior. He is from Albania. He loves being called. He's very proud of his homeland. He lives on Long Island, out in Mauritius, out in the Hamptons area, out east on Long Island. They are taking a nice long look at each other. Turbunja, this is his first fight in almost 2 years, because in his last fight he lost a split decision, and then in that fight, when he went into training, he suffered a torn ACL, and he's been out for almost 2 years.
Oh, he threw a dangerous right there, did not connect.
Not much movement on the part of Turbunja. He's a straight up kind of fighter, likes to just drop down, throw those body shots with power. But what's incredible, he does not have a knockout on his record. He's 7-1 with no knockout. End of round number 1. Well, it was a true feeling out round, Jamie. I mean, they took a look at each other, never really got close to one another, and they tested each other over and over again from long range.
Yeah, not much going on in that first round. Looked like Turbunja set the action as we look at some of the action from the first round. Turbunja, nice right there. Back to weigh-in time. A lot of distance between the fighters in the first round. I would give that round to Turbunja. And like you said, showing some rust. He hasn't been in the ring in a while.
And you wonder if in a 6-round bout, if he's going to try to pace himself, will he tire if A, he tries to step on the gas, or B, if he's pushed by Dardar, who promised at the weigh-in, he said, I know this guy's been out of the ring for 2 years. I intend to push him. In the first round, he did not push him.
No, he did not, but I would think that's a good way to go about it.
And here we are, round number 2. This one is in the super middleweight division. Each guy weighed 170 pounds. Technically, anything over 168 is light heavyweight. But when you're just a couple pounds over 168, you can still call it super middleweight. That's what these guys are. They are not light heavyweights. And the light heavyweight division begins at 175. So let's call these guys super middleweights. Here's a left hook with a lot of steam on it, but not too much accuracy.
No. He's short a few inches there. Dardar trying to be the aggressor here in round 2. Haven't really seen him able to get off yet.
Just to give you a little bit of who's in this division, the 168 division has been dominated basically by Andre Ward, who has now moved up to fight as a light heavyweight. So that just gives you an idea how the top of the division, and these guys, of course, 6-rounders, all fighters have that dream of fighting for a title. And both these guys said one day they could see themselves fighting for a title, and that includes Dardar with that 3-5-2 record.
You never know in this sport of boxing. Got to keep going at it. You get a chance and you make the most of it. Not tons of action here again in round 2.
But I like the fact that Dardar is pushing the action, what action there is, and backing Turbunja up.
Yeah, it seems like Turbunja is playing a mental game right now, trying to figure out his openings so he can strike. And like you said, it's a 6-round fight, so they're pacing themselves a little bit.
Dardar started boxing at the age of 10. He said, I did it on and off. Sometimes I'd be real serious about it for 3 months, and then I'd leave it and play other sports, and then I'd come back to it a couple months later.
Well, nice combination by Turbunja there. As you know, boxing's a full-time sport. You're either in it or you're out.
And both guys right now say they are in it. A lot of movement being shown by Dardar, pecking away with that left jab. Then he walks into a right hand, walks into another one.
Oh, Dardar comes back though, the nice left, and momentarily stunned Turbunja.
Few seconds remain in round number 2. This one's scheduled for 6. Well, the first round was a lot of feeling out, Jamie, and then the second round started to pick up. So I'm guessing that in the third round, if it continues like that, we're going to have a wilder third round. Let's take a look at some of the action from that second round.
It was good action at times. Turbunja definitely connecting with the right there, but Dardar took it well. Dardar came back later. I still think it's a feeling out process for Turbunja. He hasn't been in the ring in a couple of years. Nice right cross right there. Turbunja is leading this fight, but a good combination, good counter by Dardar there. So Dardar has gotten in his shots. This is still anybody's fight. Nobody has taken it yet. It's only 2 rounds in.
Look into Dardar's corner. He was told, go down to the body more. Let's see if he listens. Round number 3. The referee is Tony Sharantano, one of the veterans in New York and one of the real good ones.
Nice job by Dardar getting Turbunja in the corner, working the body.
Powerful shots to the body. Those shots are getting in.
Yeah, but Turbunja just waved him on and said, come on, bring it. And he's smiling at Dardar.
Well, the Albanian warrior.
It's one of those things, though, with boxers. You never know if you're smiling to fake it, or you're hurt. And what a right by Dardar there. Backs Turbunja against the ropes. Best round so far for Dardar.
It is so far. And my experience has always told me, when a guy smiles at you after you've hit him, that means he felt it.
Yeah.
And that means the punches did land. You are showing the judges that you just got hit. So if they have any doubt that maybe the punch didn't land or something, when they see you smile like that, they know that you just got nailed.
So that's not a good thing to do.
No. Just keep a straight face.
Well, you can see the look in Dardar's eyes. He knows he hurt Turbunja. He's into it.
Dardar having trouble, though, throwing straight punches. Everything is crooked. Everything is a hook. Even the jab kind of, he pushes it out there, doesn't snap it out there. See, there's another hook. And those jabs are pushed. They're not snapped. And now the other way, the Albanian warrior pushed the jab. Nothing is fast.
No, I agree. I don't
and that
see
was a
much.
lunging right hand. You saw that.
Yeah, you don't see much in Turbunja right now. I don't think he wants to be against the ropes either.
This has been somewhat of a vacation round for Turbunja. Now, I didn't catch what Tony Sharantano was telling him there. Was that to watch the head?
I think it was. A nice right by Turbunja connected there.
Because I didn't see the heads touch, but I think that they did get dangerously close where Tony says, watch the heads, guys. You don't want a headbutt.
Probably the best action of the fight route now in this round.
Well, it certainly is. And the first round, a feeling out round. The second round picked it up. And here in the third round, they are starting to go at each other. Final seconds of the round. 3 rounds are in the books. In this super middleweight bout between Naim Turbunja and Lanny Dardar. Lanny with the 3-5-2 record, 1 knockout. And Naim Turbunja with the 7-1 record and a huge amateur record. Over 230 amateur fights, of which he says, I won most of them. He said, I lost around 15 fights as an amateur.
Well, that's pretty good. Dardar had some blood on the bridge of his nose, being cleaned up in the corner right now. That was a pretty good round for Dardar, though. I would say definitely the best of the fight for him. We're halfway through this.
Got to agree to there. The first round, I think we both gave to Turbunja. Take a look at the action from that last round.
Yeah, Dardar with the right, punished Turbunja, pushed him against the ropes. Turbunja trying to come back, but I would give that round to Dardar as we go to round 4.
Absolutely. So because of that, this really becomes still anybody's fight here in round number 4. Naim Turbunja.
You want Turbunja to start snapping that jab that we talked about.
Now, Turbunja, you just saw him throw a right uppercut from way outside. That is one of the most dangerous things a fighter can do because you leave the right side of your face wide open.
Yeah, he basically hit Dardar in the back.
Dardar is starting to turn up the pressure, runs into some body shots as he does, but Dardar really putting the pressure on, taking the shots well, and forcing the action in this fight.
Now you can tell Dardar believes that he can win this one. I think that's his best bet, is to stay aggressive.
This one's in the super middleweight division. Naim Turbunja and Lanny Dardar. Not Lenny, Lanny. L-A-N-N-Y.
Out of Louisiana.
And he has an amazing career. I asked him, do you have another job? And he said, yeah.
Yeah, his job, he works full-time off the coast of Louisiana on an oil production platform. He's on there for a week, goes home for a week, comes back for a week, and then tries to find time to train.
Yeah, he said when he gets back, that's when he sees his wife, 3 kids. He's got twin boys who are 7, daughter who's 2, and he said, I take them to the gym with me.
Well, he's putting up a good fight tonight.
Those little pity-pat punches by Dardar, I think, are just scoring points as the judges are watching. There's that pecking jab by Dardar. Neither guy has a very hard jab or a very fast jab. Their things are basically hooks to the body, rights to the body.
We talked about Turbunja and having the time off. I think it's showing. He seems tired, seems sloppy.
That was a nice combination by Turbunja, but yes, I agree that he does look, he looks rusty.
Yes.
There is nothing like activity, and in this case, he is really, I mean, you can see that there was a slapping right hand by Turbunja. That was not a professional right hand at all.
Now he's going to have to dig deep, pull this one out. I think Turbunja is winning the fight, but I don't think he looks particularly impressive doing so.
I've actually got a 2 rounds apiece.
All right.
So on my scorecard, this comes down to the 5th and 6th rounds. And again, those safety mats are underneath each guy, and a lot of water is being used on each fighter. And because of those safety mats, there is going to be no flood. And those are the safety mats, that semicircular pan under there. And that is just, I think, one of the greatest tools in boxing. It just keeps the ring from being flooded in the corner. And that happens so often in other areas where they don't use the safety mats. And guys are slipping. As soon as they get near the corner, they slip on the wet spots.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a great idea.
And this is round 5 on my scorecard. Anybody's fight. Naim Turbunja against Lanny Dardar. Dardar's got the gold shoes on, if you will. And Turbunja with the white shoes and the red stripes.
Turbunja more aggressive to start this round. And if he wants to keep that nickname Albanian Warrior, he needs to continue to be aggressive.
Thing is, he hasn't really been aggressive. He's been backed up more than he's backed up Dardar. There, he's backing up again. Several shots by Dardar. The judges have to be watching this and scoring it.
Absolutely.
Gets out of the way of a shot.
It's a close fight.
And again, you wonder, because of that 2-year layoff, I don't care how much training you've had, nothing like a fight. And when you get down in a rough fight, down to the final couple of rounds, are you going to have the juice, the gas in the tank to stand up to it? Will Turbunja have that gas left?
That's the million-dollar question. You get into this fight, nerves start going, you hear the crowd, heart starts pumping. How much gas do you have left?
And Turbunja just complained about a shot to the back of the head. Referee Tony Sorrentino warned Dardar about that. And I don't think it was intentional at all. I think he was just throwing a headshot that Turbunja happened to turn into. And I don't like what Turbunja's doing with his left arm. Watch what he does. He's holding it like protecting his midsection. He is so open for a quick right.
I don't know if he's trying to pull a Floyd Mayweather with his defense or not, but
he is no Floyd Mayweather in speed at all. He is a strong guy, no question about it. There's that slapping right hand to the body. It sounded better than it really was. In comes the Warrior now. He got hit with a hard left hand, and he backed up on that one. I think he definitely felt that.
Dardar definitely has some power.
And the Albanian Warrior backed up. Now he shoves Dardar to the ropes, and they move away from the ropes. Let's see where Dardar takes this fight. Is he going to back to the ropes? And nope, he moves around to his left. Tries to keep it in the center of the ring, where he's doing his best work. Turbunja gets away from a right hand.
Final seconds of the round.
Right, they mix it up. End of the round. I just kept my eyes right on the man you see there, Turbunja. Look how pained he looks as he came back for the 6th and final round. The referee came over and told him. Okay, let's take a look at some of the punches. Right in here, this is from the last round.
Good left hook by Turbunja there in the corner, trying to counter, get out of the corner. Nice action there. And Turbunja again. Good defense there. And nice left.
They both ate some punches. They both landed some punches. Very close round.
This is the final round. See how much gas Turbunja has in the tank.
And I truly believe that whoever won that round, if they win this round, they close it on a victory. Let's see what happens. And I gave that last round to Naeem Turbunja. I thought he was a little bit busier. And Dardar, if he wants to pull out a draw on my card anyway, he's got to get busy. Like that.
Turbunja should not be backing off this round.
Sometimes I want to just get in the corner and say, Avida guy, here's what you got to do to win this. Here's what you got to do to keep from losing it.
Well, you know, when they're in the corner men, they're doing their best. They're telling the fighters what to do, and the fighters are saying, yes, I got it. But then you get punched, and everything's sort of out the window.
Yeah, Mike Tyson always said, everybody's got a game plan until they get hit. Randy G, the commish, along with Jamie Stewart ringside here at the Paramount. Joe DeGuardia, Star Boxing Rockin' Fights 24.
I think Dardar needs to be busier if he wants to pull this one off.
Many of those shots by Turbunja, they do have power, but they don't have all the speed on it, and he pushes a lot of those shots. And again, he's doing that crazy thing with his left arm. Launches that left hand. Launches the right.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to connect on one of those. Oh.
Power on it, but that right hand of Dardar picked the shot off.
Yep.
Not that one.
Not that
one. But back he comes.
Good action here in the final round. Good round so far for Turbanja. I think he stepped up. Yeah, I think Turbanja stepped up when needed.
That's all that amateur experience coming out right now, because certainly the 2-year layoff did not help him. We saw some early rust, and we saw him getting tired, but it looks like Dardar might be a little bit more tired, fighting with his mouth open and not throwing as many shots.
Yeah, Dardar has tailed off in the last 2 rounds, which of course is not what you want to do.
If Dardar wants to win this fight, he's got to get in, he's got to throw punches, he's got to land punches like that right hand. It is gonna be close, I think.
Final seconds of the fight.
5 seconds left. And this one is gonna be in the books.
Good fight.
So we mark our score. Welcome back to the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, New York, where we just witnessed 6 rounds of interesting super middleweight action. We go to the scorecards. Who is going to win it? Let's go up to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds of action here at the Paramount, we go to the judges' scorecards, and they read as follows. James Kinney, 60-54. Kevin Morgan and Tony Penlow both scored this bout 59-55. All 3 for your winner on unanimous decision. From East Mauritius, New York, Naeem, the Albanian warrior, Terabunja.
Well, there we have it. The judge is a little bit more generous than I was. I had a 58-56 for Turbanja. One judge had it 60-54, the other 2 59-55. But still, the winner was that man right there, Naeem. Turbanja ups his record to a curious kind of 8-1 without a knockout on the record. Here's Kara.
What are you marking off your next one?
I mean, 10 count. In this card, 10 count.
boxing with the professional boxing. And I think we can see a lot of improvement from the last fight to this fight, doing what we know for 2 years.
Definitely a big improvement, and I'm sure it can improve as the fights go on. Looking forward to seeing you fight again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you all for the support.
Tag team guys.
Thank you very much, Kara. Talking to the happy winner tonight, Naeem Turbunja, who with that decision, unanimous decision, upped his record to 8-1.
Yeah, it was a good fight. I thought Dardar won the middle rounds, but the Albanian warrior able to gut it out in his return to the ring after injuring his knee. So a good win for Turbunja, who's now 8-1.
And that's what it was, 8-1 now for Turbunja. We'll see more of him for sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I may please have your attention as we pause for a solemn moment, actually 2 solemn moments. Ladies and gentlemen, I want the Paramount quiet for this. We're not going to start till it's quiet. Ladies and gentlemen, this past Sunday in Orlando, the world witnessed a tragic event. And I think it's very important for us to all remember, no matter what race, color, creed, sexual orientation we are, that we need to come together to stop the violence. So if we could please remain silent as we remember those and the families of the people who lost their lives in Orlando. Thank you. Also, 2 weeks ago, the world lost a great, many say, the greatest of all time. Born in Louisville, he went on to capture Olympic gold and the heavyweight title 3 times. But more than his athletic accolades and his boxing accomplishments, he's called the greatest for his fights outside of the ring. He always fought for what he believed in. He was a man of the people, and he was truly beloved. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain silent as we toll the Memorial 10 count for the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali. Rest in peace, champ. His cue, and he's standing right there. Is there a way to stand just a little bit more than just so I can? That's it. No, I like this. I do. But just, you can't, that's fine. I'll look for it. What, you can't see it? It's all right, though, because I mean,
Welcome back to the Paramount in Huntington, Long Island, New York, for another edition of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing Rockin' Fights 24. This one is going to be, I think you're going to love seeing this kid in the welterweight division, 4 rounds. Tyrone James, he could well be another Tommy Hearns as he takes on Kashif Muhammad. Kashif Muhammad, the man we're looking at right now, is 0-2. Tyrone James 2-0 with 1 knockout. And Tyrone James, a real local hero, big amateur record, but progressing very, very rapidly. He's loaded with talent, punching power, speed, foot speed, hand speed, and charisma. The kid has it all, and he's going to be facing the man you're looking at, Kashif Muhammad. I can hardly wait till Tyrone comes out of the dressing room. He's very, very popular. You'll probably hear an explosion of fans. He brings usually a lot of fans with him. He's from Elmont, New York. The man you're looking at is from New York City, New York. And here comes a very popular, very charismatic Tyrone James.
Yeah, he is 25 years old, undefeated, 2-0 with the knockout, and an Elmont trained by Long Island trainer Joe Higgins. We take a look at the tail of the tape as Tyrone James gets into the music. As I mentioned, 2-0, 25 years old, got a bright future. Kashif Muhammad, well, he'll have his hands full tonight. Tyrone James not only has the skill, but he's got the support of the local crowd. I mentioned Joe Higgins is a Freeport trainer, trained Shawnee Monahan, who is very popular in these parts and off to a great start to his career. Tyrone James, an up-and-coming fighter from Long Island.
And let's get it started in the welterweight division by going up to ring announcer David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening. It's all being brought to you by Jordan Warriors Star Boxing. Your three judges scoring this contest from ringside: James Kinney, Tony Bello, and Robert Perez. At the sound of other third man in the ring will be Arthur Mercanti. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the junior middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears the white trunks. He weighed in at 147.6 pounds. His professional record, no wins against 2 defeats, from New York, New York. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kashif Muhammad. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the black animal print and green. He went in at already 147.8 pounds. His professional record, 2 fights, 2 victories, 1 of them coming by way of knockout. From Elmont, New York, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the jackpot, Tyrone Pretty Boy James.
Good evening, gentlemen. We went over the rules earlier tonight. I expect you to obey these rules. Let's have a nice, clean fight. Touch gloves. Good luck to the both of you.
And here we go. Waiting for the bell, round number 1, 4-round welterweight bout. Tyrone James, the tall stand-up man in the colorful, somewhat yellow shorts, whatever they are. I think they're pretty nice.
I'm thinking lime. He's got Pretty Boy on the shorts, but his nickname is Jackpot. I like that nickname.
Jackpot.
Very
quick.
anxious to see him, yes.
He reminds me of a young Tommy Hearns, who fought as basically a featherweight, junior lightweight, and lightweight through the amateurs. Lost a decision to Long Island's own late great Howard Davis Jr. And you're going to see some punching power. You're going to see speed, ring control. He does it all. Kashif Muhammad is a southpaw. And one thing you always have to watch when you have a southpaw against a right-hander, their lead feet are always touching and stepping on one another.
Yes. A little trick to the trade. James looks very poised, in control. And Joe Higgins, his Long Island trainer, I hear him screaming in his corner already.
I think Joe Higgins hasn't won it yet. Down the road is going to win Trainer of the Year. That's how good he is. And he works with these kids. They all become, they're not just a fighter to him. They're all his sons. He's a former New York City fireman, and he just loves people. When he walks in the gym, Joe himself, and I think a lot of his fighters have picked up that charisma from him.
The referee warning James for a shot in the back.
Well, that's because I think Kashif Muhammad turned into that shot.
Yeah.
You're going to see a lot of punches from James to the body. He's got a wicked left hook to the side. You're going to see he's one of the best young body punchers out there. And if you notice, the referee, Arthur McCanty Jr., who is the son of the late great Hall of Fame referee Arthur McCanty, is wearing a black armband. He got it in Orlando, Florida, both for the victims of the tragedy last week and also in boxing when somebody passes of note. We wear armbands, and that armband is also for the greatest of all time, Muhammad Ali.
Good action by James, who's pressing the action in this opening round.
James many times will drop that left hand down, but he does it on purpose. And now you see him switch. He just switched.
Oh.
Look at that. He switched and dropped Kashif Muhammad.
And he gave a wink to the crowd.
I'm telling you, this kid is loaded with skill, and he is loaded with charisma.
Muhammad may be done.
It's over.
What a performance by Tyrone James. One and done. One round. As Joe Higgins jumps to the ring, gives him a hug. Jump aboard the Tyrone James Express.
Really?
3-0. He hardly broke a sweat.
When you say hardly broke, I don't think he broke a sweat at all.
He looked very comfortable in there.
And if he did break a sweat, it was only because Joe Higgins was warming him up in the dressing room with the pads.
And he wins it on a body shot. He talked about how he works the body.
It's just great. I mean, Joe Higgins loves this kind of stuff because he tries to keep his fighters very active. And when you have a fight where your fighter never got nailed at all, and just it was easier than just an easy gym workout, you want to bring him right back. Bring him back next week if you can. Get him on a card in Tennessee or North Carolina, something like that. Bring him back. Don't let him sit around for the next 3, 4, 5 months and just train. Get him like they once did with Catskill Thunder, Mike Tyson. They had him fight something like 19 fights in a single year, his first year. And I want to see much more of Tyrone James, whose first line of duty is getting those diamond earrings back in. Let's get up to ring announcer David DiMonte to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Arthur McCanty calls a halt to this contest. The official time of this stoppage, 2 minutes and 57 seconds of the very first round. The winner by knockout. He's still undefeated from Paramount, New York, the jackpot, Tyrone James.
Pretty boy, Tyrone James, pretty boy. Jackpot.
Yeah.
I like jackpot.
I like jackpot. I think Joe Higgins thinks he's got jackpot here as we watch how Tyrone James ended this fight.
Whips a body shot.
Oh, look at that.
Right hook to the body.
Right to the body. James knew it. Good night. There's the wink. Love it.
Up on the ring ropes, celebrating another victory, undefeated Tyrone James.
Congratulations on the knockout. Did you expect to do it so fast?
Not really. First, I want to thank God for allowing this to be possible. Thanks to our boxing for signing me and back to the question. I didn't think so. Normally, I'm a second round, third round type of guy, but he didn't get out of the first.
How does it feel to be fighting in front of so many of your fans tonight?
We saw 15K on the top, man. So it feels good. Another great guy that can go and support. Jay Will, I'll see you.
Congratulations, exciting fighting. Look forward to your next.
Thank you, Kara, as she talks to a young man who quite possibly could have a world title in his future.
Well, he's got a long way to go, but you can tell Joe Higgins, he was jumping up and down. He gave a couple of bear hugs. He's very excited about Jackpot, who's undefeated now. Wins on a body shot knockout in the first round. Barely broke a sweat. I thought he looked very poised throughout the fight. What's not to like about the kid?
And he did it when he switched up. He's a right-handed fighter. Then he came out and he switched up to southpaw, and he did it with several shots from the southpaw position. So not only does he have boxing skills, I mean, very few guys at a world-class level can switch up successfully. Look, he did it against Muhammad, who is not a world-class fighter.
No.
But certainly Tyrone James is showing more and more world-class skills, and I do think of all the fighters I have seen, this young man is on his way. There is a title in his future. His name is Tyrone James. Pretty boy, I like Jackpot, his manager and trainer, Joe Higgins, all over us right now. And well, he should be. There's going to be a party in Freeport tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Higgins is bubbling over. He's very, very excited about Tyrone James. I think what you said, to your point, he should get much more work in for Tyrone James. I mean, he barely broke a sweat tonight. Let's keep him going. He barely was hit. Let's keep him going. The old Mike Tyson room.
No question about it. When a guy wins like that, don't let him get back to the gym. Get him back in the ring. That's how all the fans got to know Tyson. Because they said, that kid's fighting again and again and again, something like 19 times in the very first year. I'm going to speak to Higgins about it. And if I got to fly down with him to South Carolina, Atlanta, wherever it has to be, I want to be with this kid. I'm going to start touting him right away. I am so high on this kid.
Well, you know, Long Island the last few years is bringing up some great talent. We saw what happened with Chris Algieri. Johnny Monahan's undefeated.
Absolutely.
Even if you go to the UFC with Baldwin's Chris Weidman. So we keep on producing these competitors and these champions. Long Island's become really a hotbed for hot combat sport.
It really is. There's other guys out there like Anthony Carr-Paris right now who's going to be back in here very soon. And many of the other young fighters. Shawnee Monahan's ready for a title shot. Long Island has become a hotbed of boxing.
It's been a very good night here at the Paramount, at Star Boxing, Rockin fights. Very competitive fights all around. All the fights have been good, some real good action, some young, up-and-coming fighters. Overall, great action here tonight, and the best is yet to come.
Well, of course, our main event is going to be a junior welterweight bout. Undefeated, Cletus the Hebrew Hammer Selden, as he takes on 19-3 Jesus Selig. And Selig has come in here in the best shape he's ever been in. He said he has really not come across the country to take a payday and roll over for the very hard-hitting Cletus Selden. He said, I'm coming in here to beat Cletus Selden, who happens to be rising. He's number 4 in the WBC right now and on his way to a title shot, a few fights away. And he better watch himself, not get overconfident against Selig tonight.
Well, listen, Cletus Selden has been selling out the Paramount for a while now. They're all here to see him. He's the number 4 fighter in the world in his weight class. He's undefeated. He's exciting. Most of his fights don't last long. Cletus Selden says he's ready for the big time. He's in the main event tonight. He's got the power. He's got the sizzle to the steak.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be thunderous because when Cletus Selden was one of the most popular fighters around, and nobody has fought in this ring here at the Paramount more than he has. He brings with him an army of fans. And I can hardly wait to see the day when these fans start tripling and quadrupling and filling a place like the Barclays Center or Madison Square Garden.
Well, I think Cletus Selden, the Hebrew Hammers fan base, they do travel, and they are ready to travel. But right now, of course, they're home here in Huntington at the Paramount. This is his home away from home. A Long Island kid who grew up in the eastern part of Long Island, the Shirley area. He's confident, he's brash, he's got the power, and he thinks he's ready for prime time.
I do think he is. He's another one with the boxing ability, with the punching power, with the seasoning, and with the charisma to just go all the way and become not just a Long Island sensation, not just a New York sensation, but a sensation around the country. So we could, who knows, we could be looking at Cletus Selden. If this isn't going to be his last fight at the Paramount, he's closing in on us because he's ready to burst upon the national scene. And our next bout is going to be an 8-rounder in the junior welterweight division, the 140-pound division. Each guy weighed right around there. It's between Daniel Gonzalez and Curtis Morton. Morton weighed in at 141, and Daniel Gonzalez weighed in at 142.
Yeah, Gonzalez out of Woodhaven, New York, in Queens area, undefeated. Taking on Curtis Morton from Myrtle Beach. As both fighters now in the ring. Take a look at Gonzalez. He's got some fans here tonight. People are excited about him. Off to a very good start, undefeated. He's a guy that he's hyped. He wants to prove himself. Maybe he wants to be, as we look at the tail of the tape, maybe he wants to be the next headliner type here at the Paramount. Certainly has a chance as you look at his record, 11-0-1, just 26 years old. Got a 1-inch advantage over Curtis Morton. This is a fight that Danny Gonzalez expects to win, but as you know, you can never take anything for granted. But he's looking to put on a show here because maybe he can be the next guy to be the headliner here at the Paramount.
I think he is definitely a future headliner. We'll find out. Let's go up to ring it out to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Paramount here in Huntington, New York, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening. It's all being brought to you courtesy of Joe DeGuardia Star Boxing. Your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside will be James Kenny, Kevin Morgan, and Tony Paolillo. At the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, Tony Sherentano. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears blue with white trim. He weighed in at an even 140 pounds. His professional record, 4 victories against 5 defeats. He has 3 draws. From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Curtis, the Trap Morton. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner. He wears the red, white, and blue. He weighed in at a ready 140.8 pounds. His professional record, 11 victories, no defeats. He has 1 draw and 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Representing Universal Boxing from Queens, New York, ladies and gentlemen, Danny El Gallo Gonzalez.
And Tony Sherentano brings him to the center of the ring.
Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch him up. Alone.
Tony Sherentano telling Gonzalez, get back in the corner. Points to the timekeeper, and we are underway. 8 rounds in the junior welterweight division. Junior welterweight, super lightweight, 140 pounders. Daniel Gonzalez actually weighed in at 142. Curtis Morton weighed in at 141.
Gonzalez was a Gold Glove semifinalist, had 70 amateur fights. Very interested to see how he performs tonight. Definitely had the crowd support early on.
Curtis Morton with the blue trunks with the long white stripes, and Daniel Gonzalez with the fancier blue trunks with Gonzalez written on the back and those long socks. Don't see many fighters wearing those long socks anymore. Years ago, they used to. Now, they've basically gone away. A lot of fighters don't even wear socks in the ring.
You know.
Tyson,
right. It goes old. Everything goes full circle. They all come back again. What goes out of style comes back in style.
Years ago, it used to be one guy would wear black trunks, the other would wear white trunks. All the time, every fight. Black trunks, white trunks. Now it's all kind of designer trunks and everything. I actually like it.
Nice body shots. Good body shots by Gonzalez.
Both guys are very hard workers in the gym. I mean, I've seen Gonzalez work. He is one of those guys who just live in the gym. But Morton does the same thing. He said he's running all the time, training all the time. The only thing is, he has not been able to pull it off in his career the way he would have liked. 4 wins, 5 losses, 4 draws. Another guy who goes into so many backyards of the local favorites, gives a good account of himself, and then comes away on the short end of a decision. Split decision, majority decision, but this guy is tough.
Well, he certainly would love an upset tonight, and it would be an upset and be very good for his career if he could pull it off.
Oh, it certainly would. I mean, here's a guy, and Daniel Gonzalez comes in here undefeated, bringing a lot of fans with him, 11-0, 5 by way of knockout. And then you're going in against the guy who, just looking at his record, and again, we've talked about it, good fighters with bad records, bad fighters with good records. This is one of those very decent fighters with a record that's just about 500. 4, 5, and 4.
Gonzalez with a little flurry, excited the crowd. Curtis Morton said, didn't excite me, he shook it off. Final seconds of round 1.
There we go. That's one of those feeling out rounds. You move this way, go that way. I'm going to touch you here, you touch me here.
Right.
I'm going to see what kind of speed you got. I'm going to test your power a little bit. And then from there, they start picking it up.
Well, you need that. It's an 8-round fight.
Yes.
So, no reason to get careless. See what the opponent has. Pretty even round. The Gonzalez connected on a little bit. Gonzalez's corner.
Listening intently, staring at his trainer. And right there, he was told, shoot the right hand to the head, left hand to the body. Combinations, upstairs, downstairs, move it around. Very nice advice. Round number 2 here at the Paramount, Huntington, Long Island, New York, with Joe DeGuardia's Star Box and Rockin' Fights 24. I'm Randy G, the commish, along with Jamie Stewart.
It's been a great night of fighting so far. All good fights. Some young fighters showing what they're made of. Especially Terrell Bostic from Elmont, Long Island, with the first round knockout. Whoa! Gonzalez stuns.
Nice body work. He went upstairs, and as Morton's protecting his head, Gonzalez working those body shots.
Morton with another smile, but we talked about what happens when you smile.
Whenever you smile, the judges look right at you. They know you felt it.
Good movement from Gonzalez right now.
Morton, if he was hurt, looks like he's recovered. He's the one who's the aggressor, trying to work on the inside, but getting beat to the punch. Blocks that shot. Nice right hand by Morton.
Yeah, that slipped in. That got through.
Not much power on it, but it was a clean shot.
body shot by Gonzalez.
Some of those body shots really are hard. Those are what I call rib roasters.
You can hear them. They echo through the Paramount.
Yeah, they just tenderize those ribs. And he's shooting that right hand over and over again to that same spot. Let's see if he continues it. But this time it's Gonzalez who's under assault. And he comes back again with that right hand underneath. Looking for that right hand underneath to the same spot.
Yeah, good action here now. Both fighters letting it fly a bit.
This is quite unlike round number one, where they just kind of looked at each other, pawed at each other. This one, they stepped up the pace.
Yeah. The Paramount crowd now getting behind Danny Gonzalez.
Oh, this place can get so loud, you can't even hear yourself think.
Final seconds of the second round, an eventful second round.
Round two in the books.
Thank all of our great sponsors tonight. WBAB 102.3, Long Island's #1 rock station. Modell Sporting Goods. You gotta go to
let's
Mo's.
take a look
Cactus.
at action from round number two.
Danny Gonzalez
Power play.
powering through.
Three. Don't
Stud
forget the
one
next
there
show here
with
at the
the
Paramount,
left.
August 13th.
Gonzalez,
Also,
again,
Mohegan
nice
Sun,
body
July
shot.
23rd.
Morton
Don't
had
forget
his
this
moments
Saturday, Joe Smith
in the
Jr.
second
fighting
round.
at
Good
ABC.
combinations there, scoring some points. Not sure his power really affects Gonzalez, though.
Some nice work there, but
Picked up
what
some
I
of that
call
great
the
Star
Star
Boxing
Boxing
merchandise.
truth cameras, they told the story right there. Looking into the corner of Curtis Morton.
What would you tell Curtis Morton if you were in his corner?
I would say on the outside, just move a little bit more. Don't stand in this guy's wheelhouse. Get outside a little bit more. I think you're a little bit faster than this guy. Use your speed on him, and on the inside, smother him. But don't stand in that wheelhouse, because Danny Gonzalez is a real fine counterpuncher.
Sound advice.
See, every time Morton pokes out with a shot of his, watch Gonzalez. He comes back, he tries to beat him to the punch. Gonzalez has deceivingly fast hands. Like that. See, and those punches, even though a lot aren't landing with power, they are landing and keeping Morton thinking on defense. See, right? Just like that. Curtis Morton from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Danny Gonzalez from Woodhaven, New York.
Nice right hand by Gonzalez. Gonzalez seems to be pretty poised in the ring. He has a plan. He knows what he wants to do.
And Morton tried that shoulder roll, that Floyd Mayweather shoulder roll, which so many of the young fighters are doing nowadays. Some of them do it okay, but you know, Floyd perfected it. Ali had his rope-a-dope. Mayweather's got his shoulder roll. They can do it. Doesn't mean anybody else can.
Yeah, it looks nice, but you need to have the skill too.
Absolutely. The skill, the speed, the timing. Morton trying to load up on that right hand. He's not a terrific right hand puncher, nor is he a terrific puncher overall. He's got good speed, good timing. I like those jabs. Those are those snappy kind of jabs that I like.
Yeah, Gonzalez still has some good body shots.
Gonzalez willing to mix it up. He's got Morton pinned on the ropes. Here in round number 3. This one's scheduled for 8 rounds in the junior welterweight division, super lightweight division, 140 pounds.
Both fighters working very hard.
And of course, probably the best guy in this division. 2 guys, Terrence Crawford and Victor Postol.
Yes, 2 guys that Cleveland Shelton, the Hebrew Hammer, desperately wants to face.
Yep. And there's another guy too by the name of Adrian Broner. I would love to see Cletus Selden face Adrian Broner.
Final seconds of the round.
And so, 3 rounds are in the books. This is scheduled for 8 rounds in the 140-pound division. Daniel Gonzalez against Curtis Morton. And so far, it's been a close fight with Daniel Gonzalez, we think, controlling much of the action. And with his pressure, his boxing, his counterpunching, and a lot of vicious right hands to the body.
Yeah, you got to think those body shots will eventually take their toll.
Late breaking news out there. Vinny Matalone in the house. Give a nice round of applause. Vinny Matalone out there, ladies and gentlemen.
Gonzalez really getting hurt at all so far in this fight. He's up and ready for round 3.
Tony Sciarrentano stands between them. Bell rings, round number 4. Danny Gonzalez in the more colorful shorts, red, white, and blue. And Curtis Morton in the nice looking, but just plain blue, white trim, white belt line.
There's nothing wrong with...
Not at all.
Nice bold colors, and that's it.
Nice double jab by Danny Gonzalez. He's using that left hand really nice, poking it out there, poking it out again, missing with the right hand. Some nice work by Gonzalez as he's on the move. There's that right hand to the body again.
He's looking confident. Good footwork.
You know, generally, it's not one body shot that's going to paralyze a guy, unless you're somebody like a Tyrone James that hits a guy with one of those wicked body shots. But it's an assortment of body shots which begin to slow a guy down. They paralyze the side muscles. They take your legs away from you.
Oh, he has scored multiple times with body shots in this fight so far. He seems to have ramped up the action here in this round.
That was a good break by Tony Sciarrentano because Morton was having his head held down. He was able to land a body shot in there, but Sciarrentano got in quickly to stop any more punches from being thrown.
Morton's game, I mean, he's throwing punches, he's standing in there, he's moving forward.
See, it's those shots, the 1, 2, 3, the combinations that Danny Gonzalez is throwing. Many are landing, some are landing on the arms, but he's a busier fighter, and that's what's going to win him this fight if he keeps doing that.
He's won every round in my book.
Same here on my scorecard. I don't know how you're scoring it at home, but you got to kind of figure that it's stuff like that. Triple jabs by Danny Gonzalez, right hand to the head. Then he moves and he sets up again. He walks into a shot, but then he comes back with a few more of his own. So he might be eating one, but he's landing a lot more than he's taking.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be affected by any of Morton's punches as we wind down to this round.
When you hear that tap, that's 5 seconds to go in the round, not like in other states where it's 10 seconds at 5 and 4 and 3. End of round number 4.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to download the Star Boxing app. Make sure to do that on your smartphone. August 13th, we're right back here at the Paramount and Mohegan Sun, July 23rd.
I gotta tell you, I have been impressed with the body work of Daniel Gonzalez.
Also,
that's what he's been doing all night.
Great new Star Boxing merchandise.
Connecting.
And again,
and like you said, maybe it's not one, maybe it's not two, but every round, Gonzalez, he eventually gets to that body, gets to the ribs. slowly slows down Morton.
Oh, look, see, it's those kind of shots. You see basically the side cave in. And see, that was a foul blow, but it wasn't intentional because Morton was turning a little bit, and he kind of walked into the shot. Referee Sherentano saw that, and he didn't say anything because he shouldn't have, because it was a clean blow. One of the best in the business, Tony Sherentano. Here's we start round number 5. Curtis Morton in the blue trunks with the white stripes, the red, white, and blue. Danny Gonzalez. More of those rib roasters.
Furious action to start this round.
Danny staying down at the body, basically. He goes downstairs, goes upstairs with one shot just to keep Morton honest. But he is really committed to the body work right now. Pounding away.
Yeah, something got into both of these guys in between rounds. Somebody wants to end this thing.
And it looks like that somebody, his initials are Danny Gonzalez. Gonzalez just keeping the pressure on, keeping Morton on the ropes. Or is Morton electing to fight off the ropes? If it is Morton that's deciding, it's a bad move because he's eating a lot more than he's given. And he's not the kind of puncher where if he lands one shot every 10 or so, he could really hurt somebody. He is not a big puncher. And he's got to get off the ropes. If I was in his corner, I'd be screaming at him, get out of there.
It's been the full minute on those ropes. He's hanging in there.
And Gonzalez again digs down to the body. Again to the body. Now leans on him, pushes him against the rope. Body shots with the left hand, with the right hand. Another body shot, another one.
But it's got to tire Gonzalez out to be punching this much. Maybe that's what Morton's banking on.
Now let's see if Morton moves over right above our star boxing microphones. He's been sliding along the ropes, coming closer and closer to us.
Approaching 2 minutes basically on the ropes.
And now they're right above us. Morton punches his way off the ropes with the right hand and is kind of daring Gonzalez to come in. He banged his gloves together. You don't have to dare Danny. He's coming in.
This is great action for this round.
This has been, especially for Daniel Gonzalez, the best round of the fight. He is just pouring on the pressure. Head shots and mainly body shots. This is called conditioning. But there's still 3 rounds to go. I've seen guys all of a sudden, the bottom fall right out. 1 second. And then what's happened to former heavyweight champion Tommy the Duke Morrison? He was going along against Ray Mercer, and just like that, the bottom fell out after Tommy had a great round. So you just never know where a guy's stamina is. But right now, Daniel Gonzalez looks like he's got a full tank.
It is not easy to throw as many punches as Gonzalez has had this entire round and still be looking good, which he is.
Gonzalez for a moment had his back to the rope, pushed his way off and backs Morton. And now he says, no, come out here. Stand on those tired legs. Very, very good move by Gonzalez. End of round number 5.
Very, very busy round for Danny Gonzalez. Impressive that Morton was able to survive that round because he basically spent the majority of it against the ropes, and Gonzalez once again doing his body work.
Absolutely. Watch these shots. He works up. He works down.
And Morton sat there and he took it. It was almost like he was trying to find an opening. He never could find an opening. Gonzalez was more than happy to keep punching. Great conditioning by Gonzalez the whole round.
This is where I wish I had, sometimes I bring counters with me. I put one in my left hand and one in my right hand, and I will count shots by a guy. I bet you that was a 100 punch round. Most fighters do not throw 100 punches in a round. That, I think, was a 100 punch round from Danny Gonzalez, round number 6.
Let's see how he responds this round, if he sort of takes a round off or not.
And it's funny, if you're scoring, and I always ask my judges this, and I'm going to ask you this. If you're one of the many fans out there who sit there with a scorecard and you go 10-9, 10-9, 9-10, what does a 10-9 round mean? It means a guy won the round. But how about this, where a guy doesn't get decked, but really gets chewed up. Just the way I thought that Morton got chewed up and really outpunched. Can that be a 10-8 round? Think about it. You got the points. Why not use them?
I think that's a great point. I mean, he dominated the entire round.
That wasn't a typical 10-9 round.
No.
That was a much more dominant round without Morton going down.
So you should reward Gonzalez for that.
And I always used to ask my judges, let me see that. Show me that it was a 10-8 round, that it was different than any other 10-9 round.
You bring up some great points. You should be commissioner.
I'd like to. And the commission going through some shakeups of their own. Executive Director David Berlin is out, and new director, Executive Director Eric Bentley is in. Big boxing guy for years. And we wish him all the best in his job as the new Executive Director of the New York State Athletic Commission.
Well, Gonzalez has not taken off this round.
No, and you know, he's doing a lot more. He's having fun in there. It's like a sparring session right now. He's using his legs. He's using what I call the real estate, moving around in this big ring, going left, going right, throwing shots, backing up and down.
Yeah, he's putting in a lot of work tonight. You can tell, like you said, his conditioning is excellent.
He's the kind of kid, he lives in the gym, jumps rope, works for hours. They basically, some fighters, you got to drag him into the gym screaming. They got to drag him out of the gym. I don't want to stop yet.
Well, whatever he's doing is working. Hard work pays off. Once you get into the ring, nobody's going to help you. He doesn't need any help tonight, though.
He got under a shot, then ate a right hand, but he comes back with about 6 shots of his own. Nice body shot again. Morton is wondering, man, I have run into Hurricane Danny here. And look at this, about 6 more shots, and 1 by Morton. Then here comes some more from Danny.
Morton, you know, Morton's a game fighter.
He really is. And again, that 4-5-4 record just belies. You know, that says he is a mediocre fighter, but a little bit better than mediocre. He will give you a good. Danny is learning from this.
Absolutely.
And Tony Giordano, a little bit rough. That was as close as Gonzalez has come to going down tonight. As Giordano pushed him, and he stumbled at the bell.
Another round for Gonzalez. A good round for Gonzalez. Light on his feet.
Now take a look at this. Tell me Danny is just not doing a marvelous job.
There's Gonzalez. And look at him pepper the shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No comeback at all from Curtis Martin. Gonzalez forcing the action. Basically winning every way you would want to win a fight. He just needs to close it out.
This is round number 7. On my scorecard, I've got a shutout,
yes.
But it's what I call, it's a competitive shutout.
That's what I said. I think Curtis Morton is a game fighter. He's tough. He has not looked hurt many times in this fight, but he's not winning.
Danny moving those hands again. Just little pity-pat punches sometimes, but they are scoring blows. Just touching him right there again. Touch, touch, touch. And again, 2 more, 3 more, 4, 5. It's just like Morton is in there with a swarm of bees all over, just stinging him from every angle.
He doesn't really have an answer for what Gonzalez has brought to the table. But he's standing there.
Yeah, and even when he comes back, when Morton tries to throw 2 punches, Danny counter punches him and doesn't do it once. Comes back with several shots.
I think if you talk to Danny after this fight, assuming he wins the fight, he would say that Morton's a tough guy. It's tough to put him down, and he's in good condition, and he knows what he's doing.
The only way Danny can lose this fight is if he gets caught with just the punch of the year. There is just no way he's losing a decision here. And if he does lose the decision, the judges who scored it for Morton have to be removed from their position. Can't happen.
I mean, this is boxing. We've seen some crazy things, but I would agree with you.
Yes, we have seen crazy things. This would be, I think, the craziest we have ever seen if Morton wins. Morton has given a good account of himself. He's trying against a guy who's just developing all the way. And it's got to be a very frustrating night for Morton as he keeps eating left hand after left hand. See, and he comes back. He's got heart. He's got courage. But he just cannot handle this Hurricane Danny.
No, I think you're exactly right. Gonzalez is putting forth a great effort and better execution. And he's pressing the action. I mean, he clearly has his fight run, but he's not running away from the action. He's still pressing the action. He's doing what got him the lead in the first place.
Final seconds of the 7th round. And you have to wonder, if you're in the corner of Danny Gonzalez, do you tell him go out there and keep doing what you're doing? Go out there and try for a knockout? Or do you tell him you've won all the rounds in the fight? Do not get close to this guy. Make it the Danny Gonzalez Invitational track meet for round number 8.
I'm not sure that's the way he fights, but we'll see.
We will find out as we head to the bell. Round number 7, put it in the books. Both guys sit down, take a deep breath as their corners go to work with them. Danny Gonzalez.
I thought it was a nice flurry at the end of the round for both fighters. This is clearly a fight that Danny Gonzalez is winning. This is the end of the round here. Gonzalez looking pretty much the coach for the final couple of seconds. Morton not exactly letting him coach, so they both went into it a little bit.
Let's see if we catch that end, that final right hand of bang, just at the bell. Morton got in maybe his best punch of the fight. 1 round to go, 3 more minutes. Here we go. I don't think there's any question.
The only question is what his corner, what Gonzalez's corner is going to tell him.
There we go. You know what? I've seen guys touch gloves. It's been a long time since I've seen one guy hug the other guy before the start of the final round. And by the way, you don't have to touch gloves if you don't want to.
But it's good sportsmanship.
Yes.
A hug is possibly over the top, but I would think that'll be after the fight.
I remember a couple of years ago, Victor Ortiz not only hugged, but he kissed Floyd Mayweather a couple times. And one time, when he kissed him the second time, referee Joe Cortez wasn't really paying attention, and Mayweather drilled him with the right hand and knocked him out.
Oh, I remember that well. Mayweather said, hey, protect yourself at all times. That's what you're taught, right?
Right. And I once asked Victor Ortiz, what was with that makeup session you were having? He said, I don't know what got into me. I felt that he thought that I was headbutting him on purpose. I wasn't, and I just wanted him to know that I wouldn't do something like that. So I just, out of respect, I gave him a little kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, Floyd gave him a kiss goodnight.
Yeah, really.
Well, Gonzalez is not staying away from him. He's doing what he did to get the lead.
Exactly. It has not changed whether this is a 6-rounder, 8-rounder, and it is an 8-rounder. He is still trying, and I think he's actually trying for a knockout. He's got Morton back to the ropes, and he's pounding away, pushes him back to the ropes with the left hand, drills him with the left hand. And now Gonzalez dares him to come forward. Morton doesn't, so Daniel Gonzalez obliges him again on the ropes.
Gonzalez is a strong man. Head down, good body work.
I bet you that in every legal area, from the waist up, Morton has been hit on every square inch of his anatomy. From the waist up.
I think you may be right. I'm not sure how he's going to feel tomorrow. 1 minute to go in this fight. Gonzalez looks like he wants to end it.
And you know what? They are going to have one big embrace. Morton's got to be thinking, thank God this fight is over.
I give him credit, though.
Yes.
He stood toe-to-toe.
And you know what? He's going to have a record of 4-6-4 after this fight. I'd like to see Morton again just because of his heart, but I don't want to see him in against a young prospect. I'd like to see this guy have himself a win because he is getting a leather shampoo tonight.
Leather shampoo, I like that. Hey, he connected on Gonzalez a couple of times there.
I mean, it has been like this all night long.
Morgan's a tough dude. Final seconds of the fight.
5 and 4. We are winding it down, put it in the books. A big victory for Danny Gonzalez in an action-packed fight. You know they're going to hug. They touch gloves. There's the hug. Unbelievable how many punches they threw tonight. And they have a hug for each other.
Morton's raising his hands. I don't know if he's raising his hands that he survived or
yes,
what.
That's got to be it, Jamie. I mean, he's raising his hands. I survived 8 rounds with what I've been calling Hurricane Danny tonight. I mean, Daniel Gonzalez threw more shots in an 8-round fight than I have seen in a long time, without even stopping the guy, without knocking him down. But I bet you he averaged close to 100 punches a round, and that is very, very rare.
He never stopped, round after round. I don't think he took a round off, and he could have. He could have taken 2 rounds off for his lead, but he didn't. That's a testament to his hard work, and that's why he's undefeated.
Well, I've got it as I mark my card here, just a shutout. 10s across the board, 9s on the bottom for Curtis Morton. So I've got it 80 to 72. And that's, I think, it's going to be across the board, too, with all 3 judges. 80-72. You know, maybe one judge will have it 79-73. I don't think so. I think you're going to hear David Diamante. My guess is he's going to say all 3 judges have it scored 80-72. Has to be. Although the first round was a feeling out round.
Yeah.
And from that moment, Danny Gonzalez took over with one of the best performances of his young professional career. He is ready to take that next step. I mean, this was an 8-round bout. Very impressive. We know who won. Let's make it official. David Diamante will.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action here at the Paramount, we go to the judges' scorecards. James Kinney, 80-72. Kevin Morgan and Tony Palamo both scored this bout 79-73. All 3. Your winner by unanimous decision. He's still undefeated, representing Universal Boxing, Danny Gonzalez.
Well, just as we thought, basically right across the board, one of the judges had it 80-72 as our scorecard had it. And of course, one of the rounds, it could have been the first round, might have been the second, nothing after that, but a lot of heart from Curtis Morton. And Danny Gonzalez showed a lot of talent. Kara Castronova is up in the ring. Let's take a look at the replay right here. Bang, that was that was almost a knockdown, Jamie.
Yeah, this is a dominating performance by Gonzalez, and he deserved a victory. And let's head to the ring with Kara and hear from the winner.
Did you expect this guy to be so tough?
Yeah, for a draw, you know, you hold the fight up, you expect to see him in the contract. So expect him to be tough, going forward. You expect him to take shots, you know, a lot of shots.
I noticed that there was a couple times where I was fighting when you were boxing from the outside, but I thought you looked really good. Do you prefer to box from the inside?
You know, I like to choose to win, so whatever it takes to win. And in this case, I was not doing as well on the inside, but I stepped back into my bag. I just went on A, B, C, D. We always got a game plan, so I use my boxing game plan.
You look great out there. Congratulations, Danny.
Love you guys, love some boxing.
And take a look at some of this action combination of basically a shutout for Danny Gonzalez.
Yeah, Gonzalez had it all working tonight. The body shots to the head. He had the conditioning done. This was a complete shutout by Gonzalez. This is the reason why he's undefeated, why Long Island is starting to hear his name. Well done job by Danny Gonzalez tonight.
Danny Gonzalez ups his record with a near shutout, 12-0-1 right now.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we had a raffle tonight. I'm loving Melissa to tell you a little bit about it. Go ahead.
Hi, everybody. So we have two, thank you. So we have two prizes tonight. The first one is actually going to be 2 tickets to the Mohegan Sun fight, which is July 23rd, okay? All right. 800406. 800406.
Okay, so that's the number for the Mohegan Sun tickets. Go ahead and pick for the second prize, which is?
So it's back here August 13th, okay? 800525. 800525.
Okay, great. So we'll hold on to those. Thank you so much, Melissa. Here's your hat. Appreciate that. Main event coming up next. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and remove your hats for tonight's presentation of colors. Presented by the New York City Joint Service Color Guard. And now, to honor America and salute the men and women serving our country, here to sing our national anthem, PBS television opera sensation straight from Carnegie Hall, ladies and gentlemen, Long Island's own Christopher Macchio.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming when the rockets rang, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, when the
Christopher Macchio.
Thank you so much, Randy. Congratulations on the induction.
Says he's had more time to train for this fight than at any time in his career. Says he's come in across the country to hand a beating to the local hero, Cletus Selden.
Well, this would be a huge upset for Salig, and it would be devastating to Cletus Selden's career, but Salig has a chance. He's got 12 knockouts, 3 straight wins, 2 straight by knockouts. Favorite fighter is Muhammad Ali. Like you said, he's had more time to prepare for this fight than any fight that he can remember. So this is a guy that's ready. Problem is, he's going against the favorite of the Paramount, an undefeated fighter and a guy who thinks he should be world champion in Cletus Selden.
And he said he's having a chance to watch just about every one of the videos that are up on YouTube. In the past, before the internet, guys couldn't watch videos of one another. But with the advent over the last decade or so of the internet, YouTube having every possible video on there, especially of fighters watch each other. The thing is, there's really not much on there on Selden, and there's a lot of Cletus Selden. Selden said he's been watching. He said, I know what his strengths are. I know what his weaknesses are. And he said, I'm not even going to discuss them. He said, because that's like my secret. I know what they are, and I intend to totally exploit every weakness that he has.
Well, it's nice to say that. It's nice to watch YouTube clips, but he's never felt the power of Cletus Selden, so we'll see what happens when he does. But he's certainly not lacking for confidence. He's coming into hostile territory, trying to pull off a big upset here. Both guys have power, so this should be a very entertaining fight as we await the entrance of the Hebrew Hammer.
Yeah, this is one of the noisiest entrances in boxing. When Cletus Selden comes in, he brings with him an army of fans, and he is on his way from his dressing room.
The crowd is psyched. The crowd is basically the anticipation of a guy that you want as the real American music, which some people may know is Hulk Hogan's theme music back in the day, is blaring through the Paramount. And the Hebrew Hammer, he's pumped, and the crowd is pumped, and he's ready to make his entrance. 18-0 is Cletus Selden.
And you're probably, I don't know if he's going to be wearing that red, white, and blue bandana, but he loves that red, white, and blue bandana.
And here he comes now.
Feels like he's getting running away with one of the most respected in the world. Nobody's better than George.
don't know much about him. Undefeated. Fights with power.
Think about something. The last time I sat here for the fight, Peter Sheldon was at my side. So does that mean you're going to be fighting next? Me? Wow. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape, Danny.
All right, Cletus Sheldon, 18-0. He does it with power. His fights don't last too long. 15 knockouts. He's 29. I talked to him a few days ago. He says he's never been in better shape. He's ready to go, but he's got a tough opponent. Jesus Selig, look, he's got 12 knockouts. Selig has had time to prepare for this fight. I don't think this fight is going to go the distance, but I think it's going to be a war.
Well, we will find out. We are moments away from the opening bell. Let's go to ring it up to David Diamante. Just came back from a big trip in Colombia.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening and welcome to the Paramount here in Huntington, New York for the featured bout of the evening. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Joe DeGuardia's Star Boxing. Sponsored by Modell Sporting Goods. Gotta go to Moe's. WBAB 102.3, Long Island's #1 rock station. The Inn at Fox Hollow, Camelot Limousine, Cactus, Anti-3, and Power Play. This bout is sanctioned by the New York State Athletic Commission, Commissioner John Signorelli, Chairman Tom Hoover, Acting Executive Director Eric Bentley. Your 3 judges scoring this contest from ringside: Kevin Morgan, Tony Paolillo, and Robert Perez. At the sound of the bell, your 3rd man in the ring, Arthur Mercanti. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 10 rounds of boxing scheduled in the junior welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears silver and green. He weighed in at 139.8 pounds. His professional record, 13 victories, 3 defeats. He has 1 draw and 7 wins coming by way of knockout. From Douglas, Arizona, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jesus Chino Selig. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the red corner. He wears the purple and silver. He weighed in at a ready and even 140 pounds. His professional record, a perfect one. 18 fights, 18 victories, 15 of them coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, from Long Island, New York, he is the reigning, defending, undefeated WBC International Silver Junior Welterweight Champion. Tonight, engaging in a non-title fight, he is ranked number 4 in the world by the WBC. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer, Sheldon.
Good evening, gentlemen. We went over the rules early in the night. I expect a nice, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Good luck to the both of you.
And here we go. Referee Arthur Mercanti gave them their instructions. He had already given them their instructions in detail in the dressing room a little while ago. And just making sure they understand those rules. Here we go.
As a chorus of hammer comes through the crowd here at the Paramount.
2 right-handers in the ring. Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer Selder, in the purplish blue trunks with the white stripe, and Jesus Selig, who says he's never been in better shape. I think he's still going to be making a mistake if he wants to stand there and taste the power of the Hebrew Hammer, who can hit hard, 1-shot knockout power, either hand, the left hook or the right hand.
Absolutely. You do not want to trade punches with Cletus Sheldon.
Selig is on a 3-fight win streak, has won his last 2 fights by knockout, going down to Mexico, beating some of the local heroes down there by stoppage.
Couple good shots by Sheldon getting through already.
And one of those guys was a very popular guy, Jesus Alvarez, who had a losing record, but still was a very popular guy down there. And many people thought he was going to be able to really reverse the losing streak he was on. He could not do it against Selig. But Selig is in, I think, in another league, and that's against Cletus Seldon.
Good punches by Seldon there. Both landing right and the left.
This is quite a division, the 140-pound division. Junior welterweights, Terrence Crawford, of course, basically leading the pack. Victor Postal right up there with him, holding another title. And, of course, Adrian the Problem Broner.
And Seldon believes his name belongs with both of those.
And I think that Seldon just hurt him. Seldon just came back. Cletus Seldon just came back from a training camp in Florida where Pete Brodsky worked him out harder than he said he's ever worked him out before. And you can just look at Seldon's chiseled body.
I was at his gym the other day, and he is just a specimen. And he's taking this dead seriously, as he should, because he feels this is his time. He deserves to be mentioned among boxing's best. Oh, what a right.
Crushing right hand. He was just setting him up for that right hand. How Selig ever got up from that is beyond me.
20 seconds left in the round. I'm like you. I don't know how Selig got up from that. Oh!
That is going to do it. It's over.
Wow. That's why they call him the Hammer, folks. You don't get from YouTube.
No, you can watch all the YouTube you want, but again, and we say this all the time, and it really has a lot of meaning. Mike Tyson always said you can have all the fight plans you want. All that goes out the window when you get hit.
I thought the first knockdown was devastating. The second was even better. And I think Cletus Seldon just put an exclamation point on what he wants to tell the boxing world. And here we go.
Let's take a look. Crushing right hand down. That's knockdown number one.
Give Selig credit for coming up from that knockdown. As we take another look at it. What a right cross from Cletus Seldon. Boom. But Selig got up. Unfortunately, that really wasn't a smart idea because a few seconds later, boom! Once again.
I mean, Seldon could not have hit a heavy bag any harder than he just hit Jesus Selig.
All that hard work pays off. The Hebrew Hammer legend continues to grow.
Let's go up to David Diamante and put this one in the books.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Arthur Mercanti calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 2 minutes and 49 seconds of the very first round. Your winner by knockout. He's still undefeated from Long Island, New York, Cletus, the Hebrew Hammer, Seldon.
Cletus Seldon left no doubt. He is rated number 4 in the WBC. A happy Cletus Seldon, who all day has been wearing this fight face. He's now got a smile face on, and he's smiling with Kara Castronova right now. Kara?
Cletus, that was your 14th win here at the Paramount, and I think your 13th knockout. Do you expect to knock these guys out so fast, and do you ever feel bad?
Absolutely. I'm the strongest fighter in the world, and Long Island has the best fighter in the world. I will fight anybody at 140 pounds right now. For the past 5 years, I've been busting my butt, and I've constantly been pushed to the side. I am fed up and through with that. I'm at 19-0 now, 15 knockouts. I'm ready to take on anybody in the 140-pound division.
Ideally, if you could fight anybody, throw a name out there.
Absolutely, I'll fight anybody. I'll go to their backyard, I'll go to their basement, I'll go to their house, I'll go to their grandmothers, I don't care. I will fight anybody, and I will fight them at 140 pounds, and I will put on a show.
Call someone out.
John Molina just fought me like Rockin, number one contender. I will bust him up, and I will knock him out. Crawford, Postal, I want the winner of that fight as well. If he goes out there and Postal wins, I will get out there and I'll knock him out. I'll go to Russia. If Crawford wins, I'll go down where he's from in Nebraska. I don't care. I want to fight the best fighters in the division, and I'm ready for that time.
Damn, Cletus, I want to see that. I really do. I like the attitude you have tonight. I cannot wait to see your next fight, and I'm hoping that it is somebody that you want to fight, one of those big fights. I think you belong on ESPN, HBO, and I hope that comes out soon.
Absolutely. They get any network, bring them to the Paramount, we can throw on a show that they'll never see again. Everybody will come out here and be proud and excited and raised up to see somebody from Long Island, somebody from New York that had nothing, came back and showed the world that we are number one in the world, baby.
Congratulations, Cletus. Amazing knockout, spectacular. Great job again.
Thank you. Thank you, Long Island. You guys are my family. You guys support me. Without you guys, it wouldn't be possible. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
A very animated Cletus the Hebrew Hammer Selden, now 19-0 with 16 knockouts. For Kara Castronova and Jamie Stewart and our entire crew, thank you for watching, everybody. I'm Randy G, the commish. We'll see you next time.